Once I get out of it.
Hi guys, welcome to Love IRL. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
So
you.
if you can start, just tell me your names, where you're from, and your occupation.
Go ahead. Yeah.
My name is Frederick King Six Buffington. I work in the niche fragrance industry as well as own a photography studio here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, hi.
I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, by way of Crossett, Arkansas.
Yeah. Yes. And I am Josephanie Smith, and I'm a sex and relationship therapist. Oh yeah. Oh, and I'm from here, Atlanta, Georgia.
Got it. How long have y'all been dating? How long have you been engaged?
7. Oh, that's what it feels like. No, listen.
So
3 years.
yeah. As a matter of fact, we just got engaged like a year ago. I don't know. I can't remember.
You can't remember the date?
No, I think it's like I think it, as a matter of fact, it might have been a year ago today.
Not really.
Wait, it's today's the 17th.
I cannot believe you forgot the date.
Look at that.
I think it was a year ago today.
I can't believe it.
I love it. And how did you two meet? You can both answer individually.
So it was a little app, right?
Yeah.
And I'm a Southern, gentleman from Arkansas. So these things don't really resonate well with us. We don't really dive into dating apps and things like that. But after being in Atlanta and talking to a friend that I have, she kind of gave me an explanation of why and she's also from Arkansas, why she even deals with dating apps, and it made sense. So I tried it, and it failed about 18 times. And then I guess when I was on the verge of hanging it up, a pretty little thing swiped across my screen, and I didn't like her, so I just went to her. I stole. She always saying it about me, so I stole it this time. But nah, I ran into her. She had that thing out on there.
Oh,
And,
Lord have mercy.
One next thing led to another, and she caught a real one.
I love it. Look at dating apps.
That's it.
Were you in that place where you were looking like, okay, I'm ready to meet him, or where was that?
No.
Okay.
I actually got on the app that day to delete it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was like, I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore. And then I saw him, and I was like, okay, let's wait a second. And he sent me a message or something, or did I see? I can't remember who.
I think you was on my road first.
No,
if I'm mistaken.
I got it.
Okay.
But so either way, we matched, and then the same day he called me, and I was like,
No,
yes.
hold on
He
now.
called this. No, it was the same day you called me, and we talked on the phone that day for 7 hours, if not more, and that was it for us. We talked.
Feel it.
Date
And was
anything
that
up?
attraction always there? You know, some people have to build the attraction, but y'all know from jump. Okay.
No, I'm not just
What?
huh? No.
Nah, she always been this fine. But tell me this though.
What?
I don't think I called you first.
You did. I didn't call you. He called me.
Oh, I know what it was because we did the little application thing. Okay, never mind.
I love to see it. No, but
Okay.
that says something that y'all talk on the phone the first time y'all met. I feel like that doesn't happen a lot.
It doesn't.
That says something right there. And let me tell you, so when you first started dating, how did you know this is something special? This feels different.
Because I went really fast. It was like a whirlwind. And usually I steer clear from those whirlwind kind of romances, But this one, it was fun. It was intense. It was energy filled. It was just, so I was like, okay, let's ride this wave and see where it takes us. And this is where
That's where we ended up. This is the shore we washed up on.
Yeah, tell me from your perspective too, talking about that.
How did I know that this was
It was special.
Is it special?
This is different.
How did I know this was different? She didn't. I'm real picky about everything. So about 2 or 3 weeks in when I realized she didn't get on my nerves. I knew it was something.
Something was there.
It was something there. So, and I'm serious too. I can get to a point where I just some people they breathe funny or I do something. But she ain't doing none of that. So.
Okay. You know what? This is a random question, y'all. But when you start dating somebody, how you're oh my gosh, I have to do certain things. I'm not going to burp around. This is probably more you, but I'm not going to burp around. I'm not going to pass gas around them. That's a real thing. Did you ever feel any of that? What kind of stuff? Because I've heard that that's a little thing. I'm just going to ask. That's a thing when you know it's your
work.
versus certain things like go away. Did you have any of those that you like broke?
The opposite. But we both agree on that stuff, though.
We, to this day,
Yeah.
we're not doing, like,
We
we're
ain't
not
do
doing
all
the burping, we're not doing the farting, we're not doing
The
the...
barting, the furting, the barking. We ain't doing none of that. Like, it's another room over there,
Go over there.
and you
Yeah.
can like no.
Yeah, to this day. Mm-mm.
Yeah. No, for real. It's an understanding. Okay.
Yeah. But I ain't knocking people who do. Go ahead, you know, be your
not-
own little stinking bubble.
No.
Now, talk to me. Walk me through like your courtship a little bit. Like, when did y'all have those more serious conversations? Like, did y'all ever do that awkward, like, what are we stage? Or I feel like those are questions people they want to know. Like, did y'all have any of those moments?
No, we didn't do that.
We didn't have an awkward, because it went so fast, it was like,
Yeah.
after like date 3, it was like, we're doing this, so...
Yeah.
I think by day 3 we discussed our life goals enough to know that we were heading in the same direction.
Yeah.
So it was like, if you go that way or I go this way, we stupid. Like, I mean, like,
You know what it is. I love that. You know what's interesting too? I hear that as a trend, surprisingly. Like, even though there's such a conversation about the what are we, I hear that with more and more couples that certain things are just understood. So that's interesting. Y'all have that same thing. Now, I want to talk a little bit about like your careers and everything as well. Like you mentioned, you're a sex therapist. How does that play into your relationship?
Ooh, so that's a hard one because one thing that I've always said, I don't want to be the therapist in this relationship. Like, I don't want to come into this situation like, oh, I'm this like superior, like emotionally intelligent, relationally intelligent person. And I'm like, you know, I didn't want to create that sort of dynamic. So I approach everything in this relationship from a point of curiosity. And I just like, I mean, yes, I have the background, I have the information, but you know, we're both learning each other in this, so I allow space for us to both kind of, yeah.
I love that. That's healthy. That's healthy. And tell me a little bit also about, like, you know, there's so many other levels outside of work, also friends, family, that kind of thing. What role do you think they play in your relationship?
What do you think?
my friends aren't here. It's funny because we just left a. Fortunate enough that she knows all these people. She's from here. We got to enjoy this like intimate setting with Kevin Hart a few days ago. It was like a small little thing, but he said something, and I've been thinking about it ever since. He said, "I'm 44. I ain't got time to make no new friends. My friends here, they here. And that's one thing. I don't know why it stuck with me, but it stuck with me. And but I'm saying that to say, I don't have any friends here that I just lean on like that. They all back home.
Okay.
So I don't know if my friends actually play a role in what we got going on now because they're so distant. But I am cognitive of her friends for sure. And I like her friends. She got a cool little group of friends.
Okay. Yeah.
And how about you? Did you feel like, you know, that can be weird sometimes when you're dating and you're in a more serious relationship. Do you feel like it was a positive experience with your friends? Do you feel like the dynamic changed at all?
I think it's pretty positive. Like, everybody roots for him. Everybody is like, we want to see him win. Like, they tell me when I'm crazy. They're really my sounding board. Like, they really show up for me in that way. And when I'm in my little moods and I'm like, oh, Lord, please, right? Like, my friends will come back and they're like, no. Like, and they give me, I have the kind of friends that, like, you know how some people, they side with you when you have some sort of like down moment and they're like, oh, you know, they double down and they're like, oh, you're right, like that's so dumb or that's so this or that's so that. My friends give me opposite perspective. They're like, wait a second, like look at it from this angle as opposed to look at it from like, you're like, it's some tension right now, like you have high emotions, like settle down and like take a breather, look at it from this angle. So
I'm thankful for them. Tell them.
Okay. I'm like,
Me
first
too.
of all, that's a blessing. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is a beautiful thing. And I mean, y'all seem, I can just tell from time to y'all seem like happy, y'all enjoy each other's company. Like, I like that. You know what I mean? How do you keep the spark in the relationship?
Laughter, like fine. It's so much stuff out here to be to enjoy, and a lot of times there was a teacher that walked in the classroom and she had all the multiplications of 9 on the board, 9 times 0, 0, and so on. 9 times 9, she had 83. The students came in, they started laughing, and she's like, "What y'all laughing at?" She's like, "Well, you got one wrong." She's like, "Well, here's the lesson. I got 10 of them right. I only got one of them wrong, but y'all chose to focus on that." And I think that's the same thing in our relationship or in life. it's so much good stuff that goes around. If we decide to focus on that negative thing, it's going to be negative. We can just take our time and laugh at all the good things that's going on and enjoy that. I think as a whole, we'll be happy.
I love that. And have there been, have there been any things that you guys feel like you got through together? It doesn't have to even be something that's super negative, but if there's something that's been a challenge or something that you two together have been able to get through, can you tell me a little bit about that?
Shit, this wedding, we ain't through yet.
That, and I recently had surgery. I had surgery.
Right.
Yes.
That's a big deal.
That it was a big deal. And I was so I had fibroids. I had one of the most intense cases of fibroids that I've ever heard of. I had 64 fibroids. And so I had this major abdominal myomectomy, and I was dead. Do you hear me? I couldn't do anything. I couldn't lift my arms. I couldn't bend down. I could not care for myself whatsoever. And he was there 24/7. I mean, I was in the hospital for about 5 or 6 days. He slept on the floor of the hospital room for the whole time.
And them floor mats in the hospital, I'm going to tell you this, them floor mats, they didn't have it for everybody, because her mom was there too. Shout out to her mother. But the little mats they have on the back of the beds, the county jail, they mats are thicker than that. And I don't know that. I wouldn't know that. But I'm just saying, like, they could have did better. Yeah, pallet way.
No, see, that's a real thing too, because I think fibroids is something a lot of women deal with.
Black women, African American women.
Yeah, we don't talk about it, so that's I'm happy that y'all had that support. Y'all were there for each other.
That was a. I'm just not thinking that was definitely something that we went through. That's pretty cool. Maybe do that.
What do you think? Because it sounds great, so I gotta ask. Like, there's so many like millennial couples who are struggling with dating and relationships, and like marriage is never gonna happen. What do you think? Why do you think we're going through that? Like, what do you think the struggle is?
I know. You know.
Say it. What do you think it is?
I think it's people are influenced that we're in the place in society, I think, where people are just scared to be themselves. It's so much influence, whether via social media, whether it just be television. It's really all social media at this point. But there's images that have been put out there by just collectively. And that's the only thing that we have to look at. And so if a person isn't meeting that mark that you see where they tell you what happiness is supposed to look like, instead of looking at your own, you chase that and you start to buy into that. And whether it be, and I think that's where you get all the sex wars, which I despise those things. Like, why? We definitely all need each other. So I think it's as a mass, we're being, I don't want to say targeted, because I ain't one of those conspiracy theorist type person, but we only have one side of way of looking at things, instead of saying, hey, what do I really want? What makes me happy? And then going after that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. There's one thing that I place a lot of emphasis on, and that's having relationship role models. And I think it's kind of in line with what you're talking about. We don't have that, like, clear cut. We don't have that guiding light. Or, well, I say we don't, but maybe most people don't have that guiding light. And I feel like just like you have, like, OGs in the street, you have, like, you need to have that person that's going to help guide you through, like, intimate partner relationships. You need, like, that support system. You need that, you need that mentorship for sure.
And it can't be Will and Jada, because they done dropped the.
See, this is.
I'm just saying, because they.
All that latest interview, I couldn't get through it. I love Jada. It's gonna stress me out now. So I just was like, I can't watch it.
I just be seeing what's on, so I don't get into it, but I know they're going through some things.
They're going through some things. So, okay, now of course I have to ask, like, too, we have to talk about this because we want to give people advice. How do y'all keep it spicy? You never want it to get boring in the relationship. How do you keep things exciting, romantic?
That's all me.
That's where the sex therapist part comes in.
You want to drop a tip for the ladies, or?
Be open and be willing to learn. You have to be open, yes. And I think that there's an expectation that women should be, like, pros already. And I think that there's a lot of space for women to become intimidated by that. But I think that if you are, like, enthusiastic and you're like, you know what, like, I'm going to give myself grace, I'm going to accept where I am today, and I'm going to figure out what I can do to improve, I think that means that will take you far in itself. Just exposing yourself to, I don't know, what's out there, understanding what you like, understanding the things that may turn you on, understanding what makes you excited, and then you're able to share that excitement with your partner. So,
Love it. Love it. And then finally, I have to ask this, like, what are your favorite things about each other? And then also, if you could give one piece of advice to people maybe starting a long-term relationship, what would it be?
be patient. Life happens in seasons. People go through seasons. Everybody is not going to be at every point in a summer season, right? Like there's going to be rain, there's going to be like cold storms, cold fronts, like all the things. Like, so be patient and, work through people, meet people where they are, and meet people where they are.
Love that. Love that.
Well, repeat the question. My fault. I got caught up in her. I got caught up in her beauty.
Oh.
See how I changed it? I just forgot the question.
Yeah, so if you could give a piece of advice to people starting a marriage or a long-term relationship, what would it be?
Shoot, I think she said it. Oh, I will. I know what it is. Know yourself first. Before you jump in any relationship, figure out who you are. It's what they call a singleness or single stage. Ask yourself outside of social media, outside of what you're seeing, what your mama and them say, what is it that you like? Because ultimately, you're going to have to live with that decision once you get with that partner. And you can get with that partner, and now you switching back up to who you really are because you did this whole front thing. It's not good. Know who you are and give yourself a chance. And then let them know who you are, and then they can see if that matches. And if it doesn't, go one way or the other. If it does, follow through.
What did y'all, see, I thought I was a good thing on that. What did y'all learn in your single season?
I think just that. Like, my single season was about getting to know myself, getting to know. I placed a lot of emphasis on intrinsic value during my single season. Like, it's not necessarily about what I'm bringing to this table, right? But who I am as an individual and what my value is and where my value lies. That doesn't necessarily have to do with what I'm doing, but who I am. So,
yeah. Very true. Yeah.
Same here. I just took the time to really focus on what is it I like.
Yeah.
I know I'm picky, so I had to figure it out before I drove somebody else crazy, So and then she was patient with me, so I ended up, making the right decision.
That's right. I think that's important. Know yourself, build yourself, and know what you really want. I think those are both really powerful things. What are your favorite things about each other?
Her booty. I'm sorry. And you want it in order? You want it in order? Because I can give you order.
Give it to me. Go ahead.
So the order is the confidence, the intelligence, the humor, the booty, and the smile. In that order.
Love that. And what's your favorite thing about him?
My favorite thing about him is he is like the epitome of like black boy joy. He's always laughing. He's always smiling. It's always jokes. It's always just, he has such like, his personality, it radiates. Like, yeah, you can't help but to not want to be in his presence for sure.
Yeah. And this is my final question. When did you?
You sure?
But when did you know it was love in real life?
Oh.
Was there a moment or experience that you were like, yo, I love him, I love her?
Man, that's good. Because I don't want to say process of living. You know how you go through so much stuff? You be like, man, I ain't never found nothing this good. But I don't want to be like, this is it. I just don't see, no matter who I'm in the presence of, who approaches me, who I approach, I just don't see them trumping this. It's like, it is no way. Like, I shouldn't have said that in front of her. I could have said that for the vows.
Okay.
Can we just, and then I can come back?
You might have to add it. You know what I'm saying? We'll just act like we're not here.
That was good.
I like the answer.
Yeah.
Go ahead, try it.
What about you?
I was about to say, when did I know? I feel like the only thought that's like going through is a thought that I shouldn't say out loud.
This is a safe
You better tell him, girl. Not that?
No,
Oh, shit.
that wasn't it.
Never mind.
No. You know what? There was a time I was in my office. Remember that day? He came to my office with a Plan B pill. I didn't need no Plan B pill, but
Wait, what?
do you remember that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
He came to my office with a Plan B pill. He had just had like this little baggie, and he was like beat bopping down the hall, and he was like, "I got this for you."
I know what I did. I know what I did.
And I was like, "Why is this so cute?" Because he was just so happy and just like,
I don't know. For you today.
yeah. And it was like,
That's what you want to tell the world.
that I got a Plan B. But I didn't. I didn't need a Plan B pill. But he got the Plan B pill, like being like considerate.
I would say it's thoughtful.
I don't know, but that's the only thought that.
My little twink.
Stop! Don't say it out loud. But that was it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank y'all so much with everything.
Thank you. Yes.
They're going to have to cut all that out.
Oh my God.